Great roar for Callum Simpson there, as we are just a few moments away from this fight. Thank you for joining us on BBC Sheffield and on 5 Live Sports Extra tonight. It is Callum Simpson against Ivan Zucco for a European title in front of 15,000 fans here at Barnsley Football Stadium, Oakwell. And the atmosphere is fantastic, as you would expect. Let's get a thought from Steve Bunce and Ashley Ball, and then Andy Giddings will kick us off on commentary.
First thing I'm looking at Callum Simpson. He has not taken his eyes off Zucco. Zucco looked confident coming to the ring, but the 4 or 5 minutes he's been waiting, he seems to have shrunk just a little bit. Simple observations, hope I'm right.
Callum made a fast start, didn't he, last time, and put Zach Shelley down. What he wouldn't give for that kind of start. But I think he's going to have to be a bit more cautious this time around. He's got 12 rounds to do a lot of damage, and take your time, put it on him. He's got a good engine, he can depend on that.
So here on this night of nights at Oakwell, the fighters having had the final word from the fight referee John Iona, break to their respective corners. Callum Simpson to our left in the red corner, breaking to the right in black shorts, the Italian Ivan Zucco, and the fight begins. And Callum Simpson and Zucco immediately work their way towards the centre of the ring, and Zucco gets the first shot, turning a strong left hand onto the chin of Callum Simpson, and he is felled in the opening seconds of the fight. He got up immediately. He's just having a final word with the referee, and the fight will resume once again, and Simpson is immediately trying to get his jab going with the left. The pair grapple in the centre of the ring, and Simpson forces Zucco to the ropes on the near side before the referee breaks the pair once again. So if you're just tuning into us, Callum Simpson felled early. Now he's trying to strike back. A left jab followed by a straighter right hand, and then a little loop backwards there from Zucco as Callum Simpson looks to put the foot down here, having had the shock early start. He's trying to turn the Italian towards the ropes over on the far side. Zucco has a high guard. He now tries to respond. It's a scrap in the centre of the ring before a low shot to the midriff there from Callum Simpson, but the referee stopped play. He thinks that there's been a shot to the back of the head from the Italian. Of course, that's against the rules, and they go once again. The first round of potentially 12. There is 1 minute and 44 seconds left at the start of this engaging contest, as there's a flurry of punches from the Italian Zucco before a swinging right grazes the top of Callum Simpson's head. Simpson looks to now respond. He then shoulder rolls away from the left, and the pair scrap again, and a swinging right from Zucco catches Simpson, who responds with a right of his own, and it's furious, and the crowd respond as the pair grapple. The intensity and electricity here at Oakwell is palpable. The referee breaks the pair. Simpson comes again, leans in with a massive right and catches Zucco. The pair amble towards the ropes before re-going once again. What a dramatic start to this European Super middleweight contest here. Simpson felled early on, but it's been a right old tussle since then. Both fighters landing terrific blows, and Simpson leans on the top of Zucco, who's using the ropes for support. The crowd are chanting for Callum Simpson, who's got his jab going once again. He's on his toes. He looks a bit more calm, a bit more collected, as he stoops, tries to fire a right into the midriff. Zucco then returns with a little short left-hander to the side of the face, but the pair are now going at it. It's chaos on the ropes on the near side. Zucco with an uppercut to the chin of Callum Simpson, who then retreats out of the pocket, then gets back in on the inside. Swinging arms aplenty from Zucco. Simpson uses his right for an uppercut. The pair are trying to swing to the side of the head. All of the fight is on the ropes directly beneath us here. Now there's a temporary break. The bell comes. Goodness me, what a start.
Not even sure where to pick up there. Got caught square on, dropped early. Wasn't hurt, but he wasn't okay. Took him 30-40 seconds to try and get his feet back, and then he caught and repeatedly hurt Zucco. Johnny Nelson and I were talking earlier on, and we reminded each other how dirty Zucco is. And he started complaining about his opponent, and that's a classic sign of a dirty fighter, to tell the referee his opponent's a dirty fighter. Callum Simpson won that round clearly, but because he got dropped, he'll have to be a -10. It's very complicated. That round becomes a 9-9. That's really ridiculous, don't get me wrong. Callum won the round, but he's shown he could get caught, Ash.
Absolutely, a disastrous start. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. It was, like Steve said, caught square, but did recover.
So here we go, round 2. Let's see if he can live up to round 1. As Callum Simpson meets Ivan Zucco in the middle of the ring. Jabs with the left a couple of times, maybe just sizing you up. Is this going to be a round where things calm down a little bit after that riotous start in the first round, where we heard that Ivan Zucco was up for a bit of a battle and just swinging fists, and both did that in that first round. As it is Zucco again going for the body there. Then both fighters exchange as Callum Simpson has Zucco up into the corner of the ring against the ropes, but Zucco getting a couple of jabs in as well. Referee separates them and just warns Zucco there. Now Simpson going again with a couple of left jabs, trying to get that going there as Zucco comes firing back. Then he gets and lands with the left hand to Callum Simpson, who's been hit a couple of times here. Simpson responds. Both fighters getting caught a couple of times here in these first 2 rounds as they clinch. Referee will try and separate them again. Simpson pushes away Zucco, and now they're over towards the left top corner of the ring here. Simpson again stalking down his man. Couple of body shots there. Zucco goes high. Simpson guards, then gets and lands with a really good shot on Zucco there, and they will have felt that, the Italian. Now can Simpson capitalise? Goes for the body, goes for the head again. Referee just has a few words with Callum Simpson, but Zucco felt that one. You can feel it with his body language up against the ropes. Referee helps him by separating the pair, but Simpson on top. Again goes with the jab, left and a right. Zucco tries to fire back, just forces Callum Simpson backwards a little bit there. Simpson regains his stance, looks up, just takes what Zucco's throwing at him at the moment, then goes with the left hand. Then he sizes him up again, left-right combo, clinches again. Simpson tries to dig in with an uppercut through the guard, forces Zucco back against the ropes. Again, the crowd realising that Simpson is on top here after that early knockdown. Zucco just screams at his opponent, tries to maybe get his energy and his feeling going again, because Simpson has taken control after being felled in the first few seconds of the fight. 50 seconds to go in round 2. Callum Simpson against Ivan Zucco on the BBC. Simpson again has Zucco up against the ropes, and I think he's hurt. You can see that left cheek already looking rosy as Simpson again goes with the uppercut, holds his opponent against the ropes. There's nowhere to go for Zucco, who's already looking tired. Simpson again trying to attack, that gets the crowd going once more. Combos to the body, then to the head, then he lands with one there. Flush right on the forehead of Ivan Zucco. Referee comes in to separate them once more, but this has definitely been Simpson's round. And is he taking control of this fight early on? A chance of Yorkshire ring around Oakwell. Again, Zucco is stuck on the ropes. 10 seconds to go in the round, the second round here at Oakwell. Can Simpson finish strongly here? Backs his opponent into the corner once more, and there's the bell. Steve Bunce, what did you make of that round?
Massive Callum Simpson round, and in the last minute you picked up on it, Rob. He's got a massive mark under his eye, Zucco, left under his left eye on his cheek. It's a nasty bump coming up there. He's getting cool, and he was trapped in that far corner, Ash, for a few seconds, and he was breathing really heavily, sending big signs to Callum Simpson and also to the referee.
Absolutely, I think that left uppercut in Callum's corner, that really drops Zucco back, and then the pressure, that's only going to encourage Callum more. We know he's got the engine. I think for a big lad, he's actually a pressure fighter, and he's going to come out and give him some more this round and the round after, and let's see. Zucco might have to respond to sort of just kind of countering, obviously a southpaw, heavy-handed. That might be his tactic, and might be what his corner are trying to tell him to do.
He needs to be smart, but he's not going to be smart, and that's going to please the fans and maybe drive his corner crazy. It'll certainly please us.
So round 3 on the BBC. The first 2 rounds we have it then in Callum Simpson's favour despite a shock start. Certainly the second round went his way. 2 uppercuts, absolutely brutal. Zucco tries to respond with a left that just missed the cheek of Callum Simpson, who's already got his jab going at the start of this round. He then stoops with a good right then to the midriff then of the Italian, the Inter Milan fan, who's scrabbling back with those black gloves, just trying to lay some kind of glove on Callum Simpson, and the crowd are chanting Callum Simpson's name on repeat as Simpson catches the cheek of the Italian with a left, forced out to the ropes over on the far side. As the guard goes high from Zucco, Simpson closes in, and a flurry of punches, each fighter trading blows, but Simpson forces Zucco back to the ropes. Now they clinch once again, but there's definitely a fatigue about Ivan Zucco as a swinging right towards the midriff of Zucco. I think it may well have ultimately have been blocked. Now a nice combination that ended with a right from Simpson. The pair are just giving themselves a little time here, bouncing on their toes. A shoulder roll down from Simpson just to try and work something into the body of his opponent. All of the action in the centre of the ring here, under the floodlights here at Oakwell Stadium. 15,000 in this partisan crowd, and Callum Simpson looking to try and work on the inside of his opponent. He's got him held in the corner, the neutral corner over on the far side, as a left and a right, then another uppercut, this time with the right hand, beats the gloves, and the crowd sense that too, as a second one goes in as well. A flurry of punches. The referee just pulls them apart, and they will have to go again. 1 minute and 14 left of this third round for the European super middleweight belt. A stooping Callum Simpson launched in, just trying to bring Zucco forward, who then jumps with a swinging right that doesn't make contact, as Simpson now jabs. A turning and a returning left from Zucco. Callum Simpson in firm control, having had a shock start in which he was felled. He wasn't really hurt, but the fight continues. He certainly had the better of the second, and he looks in firmer control in the third. Another body shot from the left from Simpson. High guard once again from Zucco, who's now just inching back towards the ropes as Simpson flies in. Another uppercut beats the gloves. Another swing of the left catches the Italian on the side of the ear, and yet there is more ashen red face from Ivan Zucco as Simpson holds him by the blue corner. Referee Iona, the Spaniard, steps in. Simpson comes again. The Italian goes back to the ropes, launches back off those ropes, captured Simpson, who fell backwards. So he's gone down twice. I think for the second time he's not hurt in that circumstance. And the referee hears the bell. The fighters split. And it's another engrossing round, Steve Bunce.
He's telling his corner he's okay, but he walked onto a shot like he did in the first round. He was caught square on, got caught, got dropped, and he walked onto a shot there. It was no reason for him to do that. A little bit too game. His legs were square, and he got caught with a big overhand left. That was a better shot than the first round shot. And you get hit in a fight that's draining you, that can take a bigger toll, certainly in the first round, Ash.
Of course, Ivan knows he can hurt Simpson, he can put him down. If he's going to win this fight, let's be honest, he's going to have to do it by violent means. He's going to have to take him out of the fight or get several knockdowns along the way to a points decision. And he's got 2 under his belt already. Callum's got to switch on. I think he's getting too encouraged by the success he is having.
Another round he's won, and another round he's been on the canvas. 3 rounds, 9 minutes of absolute mayhem here in the Barnsley night.
Well, Zucco has spent most of the fight up against the ropes here, just sort of hanging on, but the guard from Simpson, he just lets that guard down, and there's been a couple of times, I'm not even talking about that opening 10 seconds knockdown that Simpson had where he has been caught, and he just has to be careful here. Zucco, meanwhile, let's say he's not really had much apart from those shots, but it looks to have a face made out of granite, and we'll see if Callum Simpson can wear that down, because he is landing with a number of shots, but it just takes one. We've seen it in so many fights from this Italian, this powerful Italian, that could put Simpson down for the count, as Simpson now trades a couple of lefts and rights. There goes that uppercut again, then into the body, then back to the head. Zucco just resists with his guard, but again he's sort of just hanging on here as Simpson goes on the attack again, and then once more has Zucco in the corner, lefts and rights. The crowd like that. as Zucco hangs on, then shots to the body. Zucco's got nothing in response at the minute. Another uppercut, another from Callum Simpson. He's getting through so often with that. Now he just holds off his opponent, pouring at him with his left. Again, another uppercut, again with that left towards Zucco, who is pinned into the corner there and has got nowhere to go and is being stalked down at every opportunity here by Callum Simpson. He can't get off the ropes or in the corner. He's taking a number of shots, but so far you can see the impact it's having on his face. He's bruised and cut already, but he is just resisting, and he is not feeling the force of any of these punches. He is staying on his feet, and he's already knocked down Simpson twice as the referee separates the two fighters with 1 minute and 15 to go in this fourth round. Simpson looking on. He's a little red around one of the eyes. The right eye is Callum Simpson. Zucco, now it's his turn to get Callum Simpson up against the ropes. Shots at the body. Couple of shots towards the head now, and a bit wayward and a bit wild from Zucco. He's just kind of throwing his arms at Callum Simpson, who pushes him back in towards the corner, and then the referee will again separate the pair, move them into the middle of the ring. Zucco in the black trunks, black gloves. Callum Simpson with the Barnsley badge on his red and gold trunks. Again has Zucco up against the ropes. A left, a right, goes for a big left and misses. Zucco tries to respond. His nose is blooded as Ivan Zucco. There is blood pouring out of his nose now in the fourth round. Simpson just retreats there, dodges one of Zucco's left-hand shots, takes a couple himself, feints towards Zucco, forces him backwards. He retreats again to the ropes, couple of shots to the body there from Simpson. He's pinned in his Zucco once more. Simpson has got the position here, paws at him again with those lefts, goes for a big swing and misses. Referee will separate the two as we reach the final 10 seconds of round 4. Zucco with a right, looking a little tired and ragged now in that corner, and you can see the blood, Steve Bruns, is pouring out of that nose.
Yeah, the last 20 seconds there, Zucco looked a weary fighter. He half tried to throw that same looping left that dropped Callum at the end of the previous round. Looked in the last 20 seconds there like the fight was taking a bit of a toll on him. What a fight, Ash. And I tell you what, if Callum stops him in this round, anybody that said he would stop him in the fourth round or the fifth round, whatever, all bets are off because of the two knockdowns.
Absolutely. That round was the newest thing we've had to a lull so far, and it probably had more action in it than some of the other fights we've seen all night. So, Callum's really putting it on him. He's sort of undeterred by the knockdowns. He sort of shrugged them off a little bit, but I think he needs to be wary that he has been put down. Zucco's not thrown a proper left hand yet. Those were two flash knockdowns, and they still took some recovering from. He wasn't perfect when he got to his feet, was he?
I'm fancying Callum in the sixth round, not this round. One more round to soften him up, do him in the sixth.
Well, we shall see as the fight resumes. Simpson then against Zucco at a vibrant, raucous Oakwell. A more cautious start to this round with Simpson just double jabbing before Zucco returns with a quick combination of his own. Simpson trying to get those red gloves through, and with a swing of the right he just catches Zucco round the side of the head to the right, which is showing signs of bleeding toll at the end of the previous round. Can Simpson capitalise on that, the hometown hero? Simpson and Zucco clash again. There was a decent right there from Zucco before Simpson ducks in, works well on the inside, catches Zucco with a couple of punches to the midriff, who returns with a very good swinging left-hand side that knocks Simpson back a little bit. Now Zucco's going 10 to the dozen to the midriff before the referee calls a halt to that particular element of chaos. The pair retreat to the centre of the ring, and we have under 2 minutes left in this fifth round of potentially 12. So Simpson just in front of a bobbing and weaving Italian. Zucco, the pair now lock arms on the ropes directly in front of us here before a little short punch right to the side of the head, and now another flurry of punches. The right is getting through for Callum Simpson as the pair come again. More hooks to the side of the body from Zucco in response, but it's a very good close contest before the referee Iona says, "I've had enough, separate yourselves and head back to the centre of the ring here." Simpson tries to get going quicker again with the left. The leading hand, which he stoops in to try and catch Zucco just above the top of the shorts, but it didn't get through. And now Zucco, with a higher guard this time, just sprays his gloves across the front of his nose. Simpson trawling after him to the far side, the neutral corner. There's a swing of the right, with Zucco then returning with the left. So Callum Simpson knocked down twice in a fight that otherwise he's dominated, so we'll have to be mindful of some kind of sucker punch here in the 5th round. Under 45 seconds to go. Simpson with a good shot, right-handed to the side of the face once again, and a swinging hook catches to the left, where Zucco returns with his heavily tattooed left arm, and for a second time too, getting through on Callum Simpson before returning again with a right. The big punching Italian then lays a straighter right in Simpson's direction, who just tries to keep Zucco at arm's length with his jab. The pair stalk over to the far side of the ring. Another jab from Zucco, then a very good swinging loopy left, and a second from Zucco, and then a catching right on the nose there from Callum Simpson, who looks damaged by that but then responds aggressively. The pair are on the ropes on the near side as the bell tolls for the end of the round. Steve Bunce.
You know, Zucco might not have a lot left. Zucco might not be throwing lots of punches, but the few that he is letting go are dangerous. Plus, we saw it with that last looping left. He threw 2 or 3 of them there in succession. He's worked out a way. He's worked out a way to try and beat Simpson. Has to take him out clean. He's not going to out-jab him. He's not going to out-work him, but he might be able to take him out clean. Callum has had him not 2 rounds off, but he's had a slower 2 rounds, a more casual 2 rounds. They'll be mindful in the corner, Ash, for him to keep the pressure on, not go wild, but just keep the pressure on, force Zucco back to a corner.
Plenty of time left, isn't there, Steve? So he's. I think you're right. I think that was a 4th gear round rather than a 5th gear round.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Callum Simpson in 4th gear is outworking Zucco and causing him problems. So, you know, let's build a lead. Then you can get into a more comfortable position, because let's not forget he's ended up drawing 2 rounds that he'd won.
Absolutely, and stay smart.
Well, Callum Simpson's missus was just spotted on the TV cameras blowing out her cheeks there as her brother was shouting nervously, because it has been that kind of a fight so far. And we just saw on the replay that Zucco landed with one and then left his guard completely open and was hammered by Simpson, and it's been like that all night between both fighters. Maybe just wonder if you land a shot, that might be where either of them are at their weakest, given what has happened so far. Simpson launches in with a left. Zucco with a big swing and a miss with his left now, as the pair stand in the middle, perhaps a little bit tired, both of them, from that explosive opening start to this fight. We're in round 6 of 12. Simpson with the red trunks with a left and a right. Zucco responds. Simpson now tries to get a couple of shots away, but it is Zucco who is forcing his opponent towards the ropes. The Yorkshireman takes a shot there, then the Zucco camp liked that. You could hear the cheers from the Italians to our right hand side. That one landed. Another one towards Simpson there, as they trade punches over towards that left corner. Simpson clinches, tries to break things up and push Zucco backwards. Again, the close in, and this is where Simpson likes to go for the uppercut, and I think he landed with another one there. That has been open for him all night so far. Zucco right up against the ropes in front of us here, leaning backwards. Referee will push Callum Simpson away, move them back into the centre of the ring. A left jab from Simpson. Zucco goes on the front foot again, and this is how he fights, isn't it? He's going to come forward at every opportunity and take the fight to Callum Simpson. A reminder, he's been knocked down twice, the Barnsley man, but Zucco is caught there, and he looked tired, and you could see in the eyes it took something from him there into the waist, and he blows his cheeks out. Well, Steve Bunce said he fancied this round for Callum Simpson. He has got another minute to try and finish the job here, but Zucco was blowing there, and he does look exhausted in the centre of the ring. Wild swing with the left there, that really tired looking effort from Zucco. Simpson stands his ground, coupled to the body, they clinch again, tries to go for the uppercut once more. Zucco goes to the body, outside left from Simpson, doesn't really land. Another wild swing from Zucco, misses. Simpson will push his opponent over towards the Italian's corner. Referee separates him, pushes him back. Simpson again with the left, and then the right and the left once more. Catches Zucco on the side of the head. Looks as if he's targeting a growing lump that is towards the right eye of Ivan Zucco here, Callum Simpson. Zucco head down, has to be separated here by the referee in the final 20 seconds of round 6 at Oakwell on the BBC. Callum Simpson against Ivan Zucco. Back into the centre of the ring. Simpson goes to the right, well blocked by Zucco on this occasion. The crowd chant Yorkshire as we reach the final 10 seconds of this 6th round. Simpson again with the left and the right, takes a bit of a swing, he misses on that occasion, goes to the body of Zucco, doesn't really land. There's the bell, Steve Bunce, it'll go to a 7th round.
What a hard and what a gruelling fight. I don't think any of us imagined it would be this hard, this gruelling and full of this many unknowns, even at this stage. Because just when I thought Zucco looked tired at the start of that round, he had a good spell, then he looked absolutely knackered. And I tell you what, I'm starting to notice, and I really can see it now, Ash, Callum is tired as well. Callum's really feeling this. And of course, he's only human. He's really feeling the pressure. He's really feeling the stress and the strain of this fight.
Yeah, Zucco's in bother whenever he's on the ropes or backs into the corner. Then he begs the question, well, why is he there? Well, he's there because the pressure's coming to him and he can't do anything different. I did think he tried to start that round in a more positive manner. He was the one coming forward, but it soon turned on his head by Callum. He flipped him round and sort of readjusted. So, yeah, Callum's round again. He's looking strong, he's looking fit. Engine is perhaps his best asset, and I don't think Ivan Zucco's had this done to him before.
And round 7 begins here on the BBC. Simpson with the left jab, a double jab, which is not going to get through the high guard of Ivan Zucco. Simpson tries to just cut him open, manoeuvre those gloves, as Zucco is forced back towards the corner on the near side, the neutral corner, a stooping Simpson, then throws a right and then a left as he looks to try and send a flurry of jabs, which opens Zucco up here, and he connects with the right hand side. The Italian then responds with a very long left as they snake across the centre of the ring to the far ropes. Then Callum Simpson responds, then they are trading punches, but Zucco's got the better of him at the moment in time, and the blows continue to come. So Simpson grapples with his opponent, they clinch and spin. Simpson retreats to the centre of the ring and now jabs once again with his left. The 7 of 12, a little over 2 minutes left here at Oakwell in this particular round. A swinging but ultimately quite tired left from Ivan Zucco. Doesn't amount to much as a rather languid Callum Simpson then just recovers his footing. Simpson then swinging the left, beats the punt, beats the gloves with the right hand side as the pair contest, with Simpson getting in there with an uppercut and a flurry of punches to the body too as well. The crowd are feeding off the drama. Simpson then now on his toes, bouncing, the jerky style has come back. Maybe he's not as tired this particular moment, and just as I say that, he and Ivan Zucco clinch once again and amble towards the red corner over on the far side. It was the 50-50 fight billed as. It has turned out to be a scrap at times. Callum Simpson has been felled twice with 2 relative sucker punches. At other parts in the rounds he's dominated completely. Now Zucco throws a left to try and get himself away from the red corner. Simpson tries to pen him in there with a right, a swinging left, then another uppercut with the right that catches the Italian just on the underside of his chin. Simpson comes again, laying forward with a straighter right on this occasion. Bobbing and weaving and shoulder rolling now. Zucco is a little further from the ropes, but then drops a right just onto the head of Callum Simpson, and now they manoeuvre into the central part of the ring. 30 seconds left at the end of this 7th round of potentially 12 here at Oakwell. Simpson goes in with a right, a swinging left that doesn't make contact from Zucco. He puts the guard up high once again. Simpson comes back with a left jab and a double jab that I think made some kind of contact. Zucco then manoeuvres out of the way, out towards the far side, as Simpson tries to pen his opponent in. Just taking his time here. A slower end to this round, and in the end a more thoughtful round to the scrap that we've seen so far.
A much more thoughtful round. I thought that was, I'll be honest with you, I thought that was Zucco's best round in a bizarre kind of way. Even though he's dropped Callum twice, I don't think he won either of those rounds. That round was, I think, Zucco's best round. I thought Callum was having to do a lot of thinking in that round and working out what was left in his tank, because he's into an area, he may have been this far before, but he's never been this far under this much pressure before, and that's a very big difference.
Not getting any body language from each corner as to how they think this fight's going. No real tactics we can sort of read from either corner. Do you think Callum's corner just saying, you know, more of the same? He's not going to keep standing up to this pressure as we go into the championship round, Steve?
but he's also hit Zucco with a lot of shots, and Zucco's looked like this might be his last round for about 5 rounds. But we're in round 8. Wasn't sure we'd see round 8 tonight, to be honest with you. Delighted we have.
Well, he looked absolutely shattered in round 6, did Zucco. Then he came out flying in round 7 and then looked tired again towards the end of the last round. Let's see how he is here in round 8. He's going to try a shot towards the body there. Simpson dodges that with ease. Left jab going here for Callum Simpson, trying to get that going a little bit more as Zucco stands his guard. You know what he's going to be thinking here. He's going to be thinking, give me an opportunity to throw a big bomb, because that is what his tactic has been. And he goes for another shot there towards Callum Simpson, and then Simpson with a shot, but the ref says no, not down. He says it was a slip by Ivan Zucco, and the ref waves off and says no, not down. Simpson straight back on Zucco though in this 8th round. Crowd did not like the fact that it wasn't called a knockdown, but maybe it's just brought them back into the fight as well, and the atmosphere may well pick up now. Simpson catches him on the back of the head. Zucco with a right and a left that just about grazes Simpson, doesn't really have any impact there. They're kind of toying with each other in the middle of the ring at the moment. Simpson throwing his left, then goes with a combo. Zucco swinging wildly, missing though. Simpson again with that left jab, getting it going. Kind of just patting away at Zucco at the moment though, not really causing any damage there. Tries to push him back towards the ropes, which is where he had a lot of his success early in the fight when Zucco couldn't get out. These later rounds have been more towards the centre of the ring. Footwork just slipped a little bit there from Zucco, which perhaps suggests his greater tiredness here. Simpson looks on as the Barnsley fans try to rally behind their man and lift him here with 1:20 to go in this 8th round. Simpson moves away, tries to create a bit of room for himself, tries to nudge Zucco back over towards the left side and towards those ropes again, gets him pinned in, now tries to give himself enough range. Did he catch Zucco there? He had a big swing at it, maybe he just glanced at him. Zucco retreats, moves over towards the right corner of the ring now. Simpson again on top of him. A flurry of punches from the Barnsley man, none really landing. Now he's straight back into Zucco, he's just adjusting his shorts, and Simpson wasn't going to give him an opportunity to do that and was straight onto the Italian. Back into the middle of the ring now, again just eyeing each other up, sizing each other up. The jab from Simpson there once more. Zucco tries to clinch the head of Simpson. That's a good shot from Simpson there to the side of the head of Zucco. That one he will have felt that. It's on the sore part of his head, which is also taken some damage early on in this fight. Zucco back in the corner now, back towards the corner where he's pinned in by Simpson, and this is where the uppercut has come into work. He's been able to tee up a little bit on the Italian. Can he do that again here with 15 seconds to go? Zucco's got nowhere to hide. Simpson has got the position that he wants at the moment. Referee comes and pushes him away. Final 10 seconds of the 8th round. Zucco again looking shattered. Simpson on top. This will be his round as the bell goes, Steve Bunce.
He was really hurt from that left cross that Simpson landed. He was really hurt, Zucco. You saw him go back to the ropes there, but that was another moment there where Simpson showed just a bit of caution or sanity or sense. He could have let his hands go for the last 15-20 seconds, but he was trapped in a corner, Zucco, and he's very good at blocking shots and just redirecting them. So I'm glad he didn't do that, Callum. Building up pressure, and Zucco looked in a lot of trouble as he went back to the ropes there, Ash.
Yeah, definitely more tangible panic in the Italian corner that we can sense. They're really eager to get to their man, start working on him, start giving him instructions. So as Callum stood up, raring to go again. So yeah, it's not as if the fight's tide has turned, because it's always been going in one direction by a few bumps for Callum, but I think he's probably going to be looking to end this fight now if he can, and I'm sure that's probably the message from the corner.
It's been a very hard fight for Ivan Zucco, that's for sure. It might get harder in this round.
And the 10th round begins with Callum Simpson trying to get going quickly with a couple of quick double jabs. Zucco certainly was tended to quite furiously by his corner. He then tries to swing a left, which didn't really make contact there with Callum Simpson. Now they manoeuvre back into the centre of the ring once again. Can Callum Simpson build on his strong end to the last round? And he's immediately got Zucco on the ropes. The punch, the little jab to the midriff The pair now clinch. Referee Ione steps in and they retreat to the centre of the ring once again. But there were a couple of brilliantly landed shots by Simpson. He's got another one there with the left to the side of the head to the right, which has already been cut there by the Italian Zucco. So Simpson again, a quick treble jab there just to try and manoeuvre those black gloves which are set in a high guard here at Oakwell Stadium. The 9th round of 12 here, boxing on the BBC, as Callum Simpson looks to try and win European glory in his own backyard. And beautifully put earlier by Johnny Nelson, a gateway to the world. So here is Callum Simpson, bobbing and weaving, those shoulder muscles rolling. Two tired-looking fighters in the centre of the ring. The left from Zucco makes contact, furiously thrown, then a big swinger which didn't. Simpson then gets in and tries to work on the inside. Now the uppercut comes, then a couple of shots side to side, then hooking Simpson well. As he walked then onto a right, did Callum Simpson, who now tries to throw an uppercut through Zucco's guard. He's penned the Italian in at the corner on the far side, and we have 1 minute and 16 seconds left of the 9th round. I didn't really think it would get this far earlier. Callum Simpson knocked down a couple of times. Zucco has been felled, but it wasn't classed as a knockdown. It's fairly easy to see why, as Callum Simpson throws a neat combination in at the blue corner to our right hand side, trying to keep Zucco penned in. A little right jab there, then more contact is made with a good combination that ended with a strong right hand there. Callum Simpson swings with the left. Clearly he's trying to target that bruised and blooded cut above the right eye of Ivan Zucco, and now he's got the Italian back on the ropes, but only temporarily. The pair veered towards the centre of the ring here, as Simpson with the jab, then a more straighter right. And Simpson just drops, just trying to get a bit more power and a bit less lactic acid in his arms, as there's a swing from Ivan Zucco only to the side of the arm. The crowd are trying to cheer Callum Simpson on, who walked again onto a right-hand side, but then he's got Zucco pinned in at the blue corner. Quickly a flurry of hooks, left and right then towards the Italian side. Referee Ione splits them. The bell sounds.
And a relief, I think, for both of them, even though Simpson had a very good finish to the round. He's a tired man, as is Zucco. Zucco's really good in the corner, deflecting those shots, just making them not land cleanly. And sometimes Callum's not reading that, and he's letting 1 go, 2 go, 3 go, 4 go, 5 go, only maybe 1 or 2 of them half catching or half clipping his man. Zucco's not got a lot left, let's get that right. But Callum's got to be careful, Ash, on how far he pushes his foot down on the pedal.
You're quite right, Steve. That left hand, it's still cocked, isn't it? And we know it's got, fireworks in it from his record and from what we've seen earlier. 2 glancing shots on Callum and both sat him down. So, yeah, it's risk and reward now, isn't it? He's going to win the fight if it goes 12 rounds.
Absolutely.
So, does he stick or does he twist and try to get the stoppage win that everybody in this arena wants to see?
And I'm interested to see what his tactics are in that regard. And I suspect that's probably his best way of losing the fight, though, isn't it? Attacking too much and leaving yourself open against Zucco's one real tactic, which is to land with one of these shots, which has knocked Callum Simpson down twice in the first half of this fight. So here we are then, round 10. Simpson in the middle of the ring. Again looking on. Trades left and right here. Zucco again has had one of those rounds where he starts throwing punches, trying to get something going, trying to pressure his opponent. Nothing really landing though. Simpson dodging it quite easily. Gets Zucco up against the ropes and back into that corner again, and this is where he can find himself in no man's land, Zucco, where he just is like a piñata for Callum Simpson, especially on that uppercut when they're getting close. He wipes away the bit of blood from his nose there, does Zucco. That's been bleeding from very early on. Looks as if they've clashed heads at some point and that Callum Simpson is a little bit bruised, maybe above one of his eyes. Nothing too serious. Zucco's face, you can see the effects of a barrage at times from Callum Simpson, but he's had his moments as the Italian, and here he comes forward again. That left being thrown with power, nothing landing though. Simpson gets him into the corner, those combo of shots and the uppercut, once, twice, 3 times he's down, and there's a count there from Zucco. He felt that one There was at least 3 uppercuts there against the Italian, and he gets a standing count. His corner looks on. Words of encouragement from them. I thought that was going to be it when he sunk to his knee there. Through those uppercuts from Simpson. There's another, and another. He's down again. And the referee looks. Is he going to call it here? Is he going to wave it off? He sends Simpson back. Zucco back to his feet. The count continues. Referee checks his gloves. There's 1 minute and 6 left of the 10th round. Simpson looking to finish it here in style at Oakwell. And they're in the corner once more. And the referee pulls them apart as Zucco gasps for breath. Uppercut again. Another 2. This is surely going to be stopped here. Zucco can barely put a guard up at the moment. Another uppercut. Another one. Is down again. And the referee with another count. 3 counts in quick succession. And the Italian's corner are speaking to him and trying to guide it there. You can see the towel as the trainer is up on the ropes. And it's called off, and Callum Simpson has won. The Italian's trainer says that's enough. It is a 10th round stoppage for Callum Simpson. And Barnsley celebrates a great night here at Oakwell. And Callum Simpson remains undefeated and now a European champion, Steve Bills.
Look, I've had to stand up because I want to sense and get a feeling for this. You don't get moments like this that often. You've got to milk them when you do get them. Look at the joy on Callum Simpson's face. Look at the joy on the 15,000 people in this arena. Mixed with that joy is relief, because you don't come through a fight like that. You don't survive 2 knockdowns. You don't get to win and drop a man 3 times in a minute of that 10th round without being able to enjoy it. That was special. That was a very special night, and everybody here will remember that for a very long time.
It's interesting though, Ashley, he puffed his cheeks out and look at Dave Colwell as he came over. He knows that was a bit of a battle, that Ivan Zucco had some power in his punches, and he did well to get through those early punches that Zucco landed with.
Absolutely, he's had 2 sort of really scary moments where he's been caught, he's been dropped for the first time in his career, and the place momentarily went silent in panic, but a clinical finish there at the end. I think he's figured the weakness of Zucco. He's been catching the uppercuts all night, and it was about 15 in that round, and I'm surprised the referee let him get up for another occasion. Obviously the corners pulled him out. Enough's enough, and Callum's European champion.
I have to say, Steve, I was really surprised that he had 3 counts there, and even then there was almost should we throw the towel in or not?
Well, I tell you what, Salvador Churchill, who's his manager and promoter, he was looking in his eyes when he was on the floor for the 3rd time, and he was saying to him, okay, go like this, and he told him to get up. It was the corner man who pulled him out. The promoter, the manager, he still fancied his chances, and I tell you what, Zucco got up at 8. 3 times he was dropped, 3 times he beat the count. Give the kid some credit. That's sensational.
He's hurt as well. I mean, you can see there that they're working on his jaw. I'm not surprised, because it was uppercut after uppercut after uppercut in the corner, which felled him 3 times. He went down on his knee the first time, and I mean, that guy can take some punishment, but he seriously looks hurt in there as he goes across to congratulate Callum Simpson, who is loving every minute of this, Ashley Ball.
Absolutely, and why not? And I think we got a taste of that noise again, didn't we? When the towel came in and Callum went off to celebrate in front of the family stand here at Oakwell, and what a moment, historic moment. And Callum, he's going to have to take some serious selfies taken out there for the next few weeks. I think he must be getting to about 100,000 selfies taken. And
what do you think we learnt today about Callum Simpson, Steve? I mean, what can this tell us about his trajectory as a fighter?
Right, we learned he can get careless. He got careless in the first 10 seconds. He got careless at the end of the 3rd round. We've learned he's vulnerable when a guy tees him up with a shot, but we've also learned you have to nail him down. That's a cliche that boxers like to use. We've seen that with our own eyes here tonight against a dangerous and proven banger. Dropped twice in the first 9 minutes of the fight in the first 3 rounds. Slowly broke him down with several rounds where he used his brain. I tipped him not to use his brain. I tipped him to come out wild, and he dumbfounded me. Surprised me, and I'm delighted he did. When he started to break and really get to Zucco, he even then took seconds and thinking about it. We've learned tonight that he's actually a better fighter tonight than I thought he was. And it's not just because he got up twice and knockdowns. is because he broke down a man who was dangerous by using his brains.
Well, we were just seeing the replay there, Ashley, at the stoppage, and he kept getting himself into those difficult positions, Zucco, where he would be in the corner. He teed off on the uppercut early on. He went back to it there, and that's what stopped the fight. But he was taking some real punishment there in those
Absolutely.
uppercuts.
I mean, he was backed into the corner and onto the ropes, not through choice. He couldn't get out of those positions, and Callum obviously smelt blood. I think we're seeing Callum's not a one-punch knockout artist. He's a pressure fighter with a great engine, and it was too much for Zucco tonight. Those shots, they're not pleasant. Hit on the chin, and he's got hit on the chin 5-6 times within quick succession there. He wasn't going to stand up to that, and wise move to pull him out of the fight.
Well, Steve Bunce and Andy Giddings have gone ringside to try if they can go and grab a word with Callum Simpson. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that before TV get their first helping with him, but we will try and bring that live to you if we can. So word for back at the studio. Stay tuned and I'll give you the signal if, when we are in a position to speak to Callum Simpson. He is obviously going to speak to the television first, and we're going to have the official confirmation of his victory. All of Callum Simpson's entourage in the ring. His missus was the first one to greet him there with a huge hug. His brother was celebrating wildly as well. And it is a very emotional time for the Simpson family every time he wins a fight, isn't it, Ashley?
Of course, yeah. Obviously, what happened to his sister Lily, dying tragically late last year. Callum vowed to carry on for her when it perhaps could have been easier to sort of give it up, and he's doing her proud. Only the second ever European champion from Barnsley, the first born and bred Barnsley European champion, and look, he's had a taste of all this now. He had a taste of it last summer. He's going to want more. Can we get him back here next summer for a world title fight?
Let's go back into the ring and join Big Mo, the announcer, for official confirmation of Callum Simpson's win.
Referee John Young calls the stop to this contest at 2 minutes 28 seconds of the 10th round. Declaring your winner by TKO and the
So there we go, Callum Simpson confirmed as the new EBU European Super Middleweight Champion, adding to his Commonwealth and British titles. And you just wonder what is next for Callum Simpson. He has spoken about the kind of opponents that he would love to take on next. Hamza Shiraz is someone we've talked about, Ashley, who could be a potential next opponent. He's even spoken, Callum Simpson, about Eubank Jr. in the future as well. So there are some big possibilities for him, but he'll also be eyeing potential world title opportunities. And when you can bring as many people as he can to stadiums like this, whether he fights here again and goes for a world title in the future, whether that's somewhere like the O2 or even, you know, Tottenham Stadium on another fight somewhere, the possibilities are endless for him because he has such a popularity in the town of Barnsley.
Well, if he wasn't popular now, fighting like that with the knockdowns and the drama is going to be even more popular. And the world is his oyster, like we said. He's because he holds 3 belts now, there's a range of fights he can have as well. He has previously said that he wanted to win the British title outright. Now, that might seem daft now that he's become European champion, but that is an honour to win the British title. He does need 2 more defences of that, but there are a lot of good British fighters. There's a lot of decent Commonwealth fighters if he wants to defend that belt, and there's people queuing up in Europe. Let's be honest, he's been put down twice tonight, and there will be fighters in Europe looking at that thinking, hang on, we've got a chance here, there's a sniff here.
Well, that is the thing. It's very easy to get caught up in the positivity, isn't it? And it's, the scenes here, he's won the fights, a good win for him. The fans have all been very entertained. That was a good fight that we've seen. But if you were someone who is going to be facing Callum Simpson next, you look at that and you think, well, he was put down in the first 10 seconds of the fight here, that if you can draw him in, if you can catch him, his response is to start throwing his fists, so you can get him out of his game plan pretty easily. And that's when he left himself open there, actually. It was almost reacting every time Zucco got on top. His guard was let down a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, the first knockdown was so bizarre, wasn't it? It wasn't even a proper point. It didn't look as though he could drop me or you, Rob, to be honest, but he just got caught square, lack of concentration, or switched off. I'm not sure, but he's put down, and thankfully we recovered and got the dramatic win at the end.
We are waiting to see if we will we'll potentially be able to get him live. We might not be able to. We might have to record this interview with Callum Simpson, and then in that instance we will get it to you as soon as possible via our online channels there. If you search for Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield on the website, you will find the interview with Callum Simpson, and if you follow us on X at Football Heaven, you will have that interview as well. We'll see if we'll be able to bring it live or not. But Callum Simpson is in the ring now, and he's having that conversation with the TV cameras, with his new belt on as a European champion. But that's the thing, and he'll be talking to us, and this is what I think a lot of people will be saying to him, actually, is, look, that was a fight where you learn a lot about yourself. And I can remember Kell Brook had 2 fights against Carson Jones and had his nose broken against a journeyman American. That was a fight that should not have been as close as it was. Eddie Hearn, his promoter, was fuming afterwards, and they had to do it all again in Hull, and it was like watching a totally different fight the next time round. Kell Brook took it a lot more seriously, demolished Carson Jones, and you wondered what the first fight was all about. So sometimes a fight like this, where you are maybe humbled slightly or given a bit of a reality check, sometimes that's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
No, you need these acid tests, and I'm sure if Callum had his time again, he wouldn't be on the deck after 10 seconds. He's going to fight better fighters than Ivan Zucco if he keeps progressing, because that's the natural progress. So yeah, it's a great night for Callum, one he'll remember fondly, but there is that little caveat just hanging around. Hang on, perhaps there's a slight chink in his armour. Not saying he can't take a punch, not saying that at all. I think he just got caught, didn't he? Perhaps the occasion in the first 10 seconds got to him, and perhaps underestimated Ivan Zucco, but surely it's going to be bigger nights to come.
Do you think it is a good thing for him, though, that he managed to finish that off without having to go the distance? When we were here, last year against Zach Shelley, he did have to go that distance, and you're sort of looking at it now. This is a 13th knockout for him, 18 fights, still unbeaten. Is that something that he needs to show if he's going to be really attracted beyond the level that we're seeing in Europe and in this country? Does he need to have that ability to finish a fight? And has he shown tonight that he's got that punching power on him?
Yeah, he shrugged it off, didn't he? And I don't think there was particularly a round that Zucco won clearly. Perhaps there was a few rounds that were a bit of a lull in action compared to the other ones. I think his engine is his best asset. There were occasions where Callum did look out of puff. He'd been putting a lot into it, but he clearly had too big an engine for Ivan Zucco tonight. The pressure was too much. He spent a lot of time on the ropes, a lot of time in the neutral corner. You don't do that through choice unless you're really daft. And I think he got forced out there, and he couldn't physically get his way out of there. I think he bullied him a little bit tonight. There was pressure fights. Ivan Zucco just tried to counter in the end. I think he was banking on sort of a big left hand catching Callum cold again. He went out of puff.
Well, Callum Simpson getting the applause here from the home crowd. Many of the crowd have stayed actually to listen to his post-fight interview and get some reaction from Callum Simpson, who is now a European champion, Barnsley born, and very much a favourite son of these parts. And if you come down to watch Barnsley play a football match here in League One next season, chances are you'll see Callum Simpson there. He does like to get to his football, always well received, has often come into the gantry for a chat with us on BBC Sheffield. In fact, he has taken the mic off the TV personnel here to send a message to Barnsley and their fans and everybody in this stadium, and just thank everybody for turning out. And again, it goes to show he appreciates, he needs this connection as part of of his billing and his career, doesn't he, for motivation, to give him something to fight for, and to just have them all behind him, Ashley Ball.
Yeah, I think he totally gets it. He gets this town, doesn't he? And I know a lot of these people personally got the ticket handed to them by Callum, which, you got that personal connection then. He's the man about town, and he's doing Barnsley proud.
But you can probably hear in the background he's now leading a chant of Yorkshire.
Quite right. So he's not daft enough to rule out selling tickets in Rotherham, Sheffield, Doncaster, maybe Leeds, Bradford as well.
Well, they certainly do love the boxing around South Yorkshire, and it will not be a surprise, even though he very much is Barnsley's man, if he doesn't have fans around Yorkshire, Sheffield or Rotherham or Doncaster. And Sheffield in particular has such a rich history of boxing. And Steve Bunce is now having a word with Callum Simpson. We are not able to bring you that live, unfortunately, on BBC Radio Sheffield. So we'll have a final few thoughts here, Ashley, and then we'll see if we can get that to air or not, or whether or not that will have to be played out online in the near future. But a great night for Barnsley, a great night for Oakwell again here, and I just wonder if we'll see Callum Simpson here again next summer, whether that is something that is going to be whatever is the next thing for his career, and if he has got world title ambitions, whether another night here at this stadium, given how well it sells, could be part of the plan.
I think what's critical is last year he wanted to win the British title in front of these guys. Then he got it, then the belief grew, he got a taste of it, to the point where if he wants that to continue, he's got to win these fights. Now, he had to win tonight to keep this momentum going. He has done that. He has done that in some style. He has done that with some drama. Everyone will have enjoyed watching it at home if they weren't in the crowd as well. So it's another box ticked off. Look, he can only fight in the summer months. He's got sort of a 2-month window. So if he's going to come back here, it's going to have to be in 12 months' time. And in 12 months' time, he wants to be knocking on the door of world titles. Can we get a world title fight in Barnsley for the first time? We'd have to open up all 4 sides. Might have to have people sitting on the roof, I think, to fit everybody who would want to attend that fight. Boxing is changeable, isn't it? We don't know quite what's going to happen with the world titles. We don't quite know what's going to happen with the venues. It could well be that Callum Simpson heads off to Saudi and earns some, life-changing money.
It'd be a bit warmer there than it is at Oakwell.
Knowing us well, I think we'd probably drop on a cold night in the desert. But yeah, look, we want a world champion out of Callum, don't we? We want a world champion out of Dalton. We want these big nights in Barnsley. You and I both know that South Yorkshire's a hotbed of boxing. We see all the kids here tonight. Let's hope these kids are all going to go into amateur boxing gyms around South Yorkshire, and we've got sort of 10 Callum Simpsons knocking on the door in a few years' time. He is inspiring people, and that will only continue if he keeps on winning, and let's hope he does. There's jeopardy with Callum Simpson. We've seen that tonight. We don't quite know what's going to happen. I think when we first started out tonight, we said, what's going to happen, what sort of fight we expected. Well, we couldn't have expected quite what we saw in the first 10 seconds, the first few rounds. So there's always going to be drama with Callum. There's always going to be excitement, and I think there's always going to be pictures, isn't there? There's probably about 10,000 people wanting to have a picture with him before he can speak to the press later.
Well, I think we were actually delaying the photo that his family and all his entourage wanted with him in the ring before moving on, and Steve Bunce has concluded his conversation with Callum Simpson, and we will get that to you through the BBC channels very, very shortly. But it is success for Callum Simpson here against Ivan Zucco at Oakwell. A quick word on Zucco. He was just sort of making his way back to the changing rooms a second ago. He was embraced by, I'm guessing, one of his friends, family members, someone who's travelled over from Italy to support him, and he was in tears. He was quite emotional because he's given absolutely everything to this today. He said this was a big opportunity for him to come here and try and make a statement, and in fairness, the way that he stood up to a number of uppercuts there, and a lot of punishment was admirable on his behalf.
Absolutely. I mean, I know he got booed into the arena, and let's hope he gets clapped out of it, because he does deserve that much. I think he was a gallant contender for this belt. Put up a great fight. Obviously, had 2 moments, but I think the knockdowns, though they were flash knockdowns, they were a sign that he was a real fighter. He was a real contender. We might well see him again, but perhaps not against Callum Simpson. he could well become European champion down the line, and I think he's done himself proud tonight. I know he comes from the north of Italy, but it was almost gladiatorial at times, wasn't it, with his focus and his sort of toughness, but in the end Callum took over and got the win he wanted.
Yeah, and one final thing, I think, before we're actually going to have Callum Simpson. We'll get that interview with you very, very shortly. So stay with us here on BBC Radio Sheffield and 5 Live Sports Extra. We'll hear from Callum Simpson momentarily. I think the other thing that you mentioned, Ashley, it was seeing the number of youngsters here at the stadium before, and I've done many boxing nights. I've done them in America and over here, and you don't see many kids coming to boxing, and maybe there's an obvious reason for that. You know, it's not football, especially in this country, but there were a lot of youngsters here who were celebrating Callum Simpson, and you know, the sport has grown so much and it is still thriving in this country, but to sort of see those people getting behind Callum was good to see tonight.
Callum's a role model, isn't he? And it's what we needed. I'm sure Kel Brook talked about the night's going to see Naz as a kid, and Callum Simpson used to watch Kel Brook, so it's always sort of there's always somebody coming through. So Callum's an inspiration. You know, boxing's great. Taking up boxing is great for any kid, whether they become a champion or not. So I think a lot of kids are inspired by the likes of Callum Simpson, and hopefully going to pack out the amateur boxing gyms of South Yorkshire, because that's what we need and it's what we deserve.
Yeah, well, Callum Simpson's just in front of us here doing another interview, Ashley, and you can see, you know, Ivan Zucco clearly has some power in his punches, because you can see that on Callum Simpson's face. He will have not had a test like this before in his career, will he? No,
and you know, the good thing is he's come through it. He's weathered that storm. He's perhaps not as good looking as he was 45 minutes ago, but I'm sure they'll heal. I'm sure he's probably off to the Caribbean soon enough to get some rest. He has had a busy sort of 6 months, hasn't he? 3 fights crammed into that period. So when we see Callum again, I think we're probably going to be looking at sort of September, October, up to his management team. I don't think they quite know what they're going to do yet, so it's tough for us to predict, but he's got 3 belts that he could potentially defend. You know, the Mark Jeffers fight, perhaps does that become easier to make now that Mark Jeffers has taken a loss? I'm not sure. Yeah, a great night for Barnsley. Just to summarise it, this night's not happened before. We've only had one European champion from Barnsley before, and that was just after the Second World War. So Callum appreciates history. He asks us about history, and we have to be telling him about the olden days, and perhaps I think the desire to break new ground is something that appeals to him as well, and make history, and he's certainly done that tonight.
Well, let's hear from the man himself. Callum Simpson has been speaking to Steve Bunce.
First of all, Callum, look at that crowd. Close your eyes. What does it mean to you?
Everything, mate, everything. You know, I'm so, you know, I grew up less than a mile from here. I lived less than a mile from here all my life, and I've been walking the streets like I'm some kind of pop star. But I've been seeing kids. I've been going to kids' schools and stuff, and just saying to them that, you know, I want them to look at me and see that someone that's gone to the same school as them, walks the same streets as them, can go on to achieve their dreams. So why can't they? I've always had to look further afield for role models, and Barnes has got one of their own that can get behind, that can be proud of.
You are one of their own, but you also gave them some scares tonight. You gave them you're smiling. You gave them an unbelievable fight. You were dropped twice in the fight, and you dropped him 3 times. What do you remember of the fight? Because it was a whirlwind roller coaster.
Yeah, you know, I think I got caught the first round. I got caught with just a straight right. I was just caught cold. Yeah, and then again, it was a strong kid. That's no excuse. You know, I got dropped. My legs were still there, absolutely fine. And it was just that, not they get to me head. I knew that I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to jump up when I'm hurt and try and fight with fire when I'm hurt. I'm not stupid. But I knew that I wasn't hurt with a flash knock down. My legs were there, my head were there. I just knew how to stick at it, stick to the plan, get back to my boxing and wear him down, because my condition is world level. And you know, I'm nowhere near the finished article. That's why I want to do it the traditional route, the area, the British, Commonwealth, European. I want to keep on stepping up levels and just keep on improving and getting better.
And let me ask you this, Callum, on the walk to the ring, you were smiling once you got to the arena, but outside you looked a bit like there was a bit of pressure on you. And that's good pressure, but what did you feel a bit of pressure?
No, not at all, mate, not at all. I've trained too hard to feel nervous or like pressure. I trained too hard not to be confident. You know, it's just excitement, and I'm just so proud to be. But you know, there were no pressure. Sometimes they don't look mean just for cameras and look a bit cool. But no, I love it, mate. I love it, and I love Yes, it's amazing.
And what was it like, that walk to the ring? I could see you looking up and savouring it and taking it in, because we were sitting there and some of us were getting emotional. What was it like for you?
Just special, mate, special. That's all I can say. Just a special night for myself, for family, for Barnsley. Just amazing, mate.
And I know you were asked this already, but what would you like now in an ideal Callum Simpson world? And you're living in fantasy land as it is, but what would you like now?
I'd love to defend the European, another good tough defence, just keep on pushing forward, keep on stepping up in levels. I've learnt a lot tonight, maybe I needed that tonight. Just keep on stepping up. I want to bring a world title back to Barnsley next year.
You willed that, thanks very much indeed.
Callum Simpson there speaking to Steve Bunce, who says he wants to bring a world title back to Barnsley next year. Steve Bunce, final thought from you on what we've seen tonight?
Well, you know what, he could bring it back here to Barnsley, because why ever not? If we come back next summer and we get not 16, we get 25,000. We can't get 25,000 in any arena in Great Britain. The new co-op in Manchester's 24,000. Why not? It makes perfect sense to do it that way. And you know what? It's not so much of a dream now. We're moving closer to it being a reality. That doesn't mean he'll win it. It means that he could get it, and he earned the chance now. Rather, he earned the right tonight to get the chance.
Yeah, and it was a good performance, Andy. You know, not perfect, but maybe that's a good thing for him moving forward as well, to experience that.
Well, no, not perfect. Shock start, took time to recover. Some brilliant uppercuts ultimately helped him win the fight. Not just in, obviously, clearly the 10th round when the Italian fighter's corner put the towel on the ropes, but we all thought it was going to be a major test. It was a slightly different test in the end than the press. I think we thought that it might be, or certainly I did in any case, but he's come through it. So now he gets the opportunity for a couple of fights, and then, this time next year, goodness me, the prospects are endless.
Ashley, final word for you?
Yeah, it's just what a night for Barnsley again. It's going to live in the memory of everyone who came tonight. Historic night. Callum's done the business again. He's done it with drama. He's brought jeopardy and all sorts of chaos tonight, wasn't it? It was a fight we couldn't predict. It was a fight unravelled in front of our eyes that we perhaps didn't see coming. But the job's done. The story goes on. The momentum carries on, and let's see where it takes us.
Ashley Ball from the Barnsley Chronicle, the legendary Steve Bunce. Thank you for joining us today on BBC Sheffield and 5 Live Sports Extra, from Andy and myself as well. Hope you have a great evening. Congratulations to Callum Simpson. He is the new EBU European Super Middleweight Champion. We're going to hand off now to Jim Davis. Have a great weekend.